Okay, I'm done with my meal. Hey guys, Psyche Pictures here. And welcome back to more Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Last episode we had an embarrassing loss against Sabrina. But the time before that, we finished getting all of the stakes for the stakes of Treasures of Ruin. Caught the Treasures of Ruin and went and showed them to Rayford. This time, we're going to the Zero Gate and entering into Area 0. Now, there's actually quite a bit we didn't get to do our first time being here. Because, first you can, of course you can go and teleport to the different areas that we were at. But, more importantly, there's actually new Pokemon that we can obtain here. New Pokemon we can obtain, new areas we get to visit because we can actually, you know, ride Koraidon or Miraidon. So, once we get down there, we can actually explore freely because we don't have any of our friends nearby. So, now... Oh. I didn't get that the first time. Max Potion. So this is mainly going to be... This episode is mainly going to be... Hey, let's go and look around Area 0, see what we can do. And see what other kinds of Pokemon we can see. Like that, Screamtail. Like Screamtails are up here now. Screamtail, okay. Stop. Floette and Girafarig. I don't think I have Braviary yet. I think that's an elusive Pokemon that I haven't gotten yet. Because in the desert it kept... yeah, I don't have it. Because in the desert I kept going and having Whirlwind used against me with Braviary, so... Quick Ball. Let's see. Yeah! Nice. Caught Braviary. Finally! After all this time, I finally got a Braviary. Yay! Registered in the Pokedex. Nice. Do I have any Floette? Yeah. I have Floette. Lots of Screamtail around here. So, the Paradox Pokemon that we saw near the oh, Salac Berry increases speed when in a pinch. But anyway, back to what I was saying with the Paradox Pokemon. They'll be freely roaming around Area 0 now. Leaf Storm. So we can actually get a few Paradox Pokemon that we did not get on our first trek through. And they all have specific areas that they haven't gone to. Naughty meant. There's quite a few areas that we can go to that either we haven't gone to before, or the Paradox Pokemon will now appear at. Citrus berries, fresh water. And I'm just going to go around here collecting items, see what we got. See what we can get now. Now that we can ride Koraidon and see what else we have here. Braviary. Okay. Something else I want to discuss while we're doing this is discussing like Aftergame stuff and things like that. Because I know that well, this adventure is coming to an end. Well, for the main story at least. The main story is coming to an end. But not the game itself. The game itself is far from over. but I wanted to go and discuss, like, end game stuff for the base game. I wanted to discuss stuff for the base game so that we don't have tons and tons to talk about in, like, the very, very end of this game, which would probably take an hour to do. But, let's see. First topic I want to discuss is the different stories that we did not talk about when I finished, the base game, not the after story. So I want to talk about those specific stories and what I think about them. So, Victory Road is the gym leader story. So, the gym leader story, of course, I really like it. Oh, there's no Pokemon. Slitherwing. But Victory Road, of course, I like going around and collecting gym badges, going and doing like a regular adventure for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for Pokemon games. But what I especially like in this game, which kind of is, but I really like, I like this in, I like the fact that you can go and challenge the gyms in any order you want. That is a really good thing they implemented. Whoa, that's Sandy Shocks. It's a really good thing that they put in. You can challenge the gyms in any order you want. Downside to that, you can potentially go to gyms that you should have done earlier. The ones you should have done earlier, you actually go and could do later. Like on my first playthrough, I took on Katie. I think like as my 4th gym, and that's not, and it's not like, oh, the levels change. The levels stayed the same. So I was fighting Katie, a level with her Pokemon being at most level 12, I think it was, with level 30 or higher Pokemon. So I kind of wish that they went and scaled the gym leaders where you were at in your journey, and have like 8 different gym leader challenges you could do at a time to increase the replayability. There's another Slitherwing. So that's kind of my beef with the gym leaders. I kind of wish they had more to it. Kind of wish they had more to them, and kind of wish that they, scaled with the player. Kind of wish they scaled with the player, but, what are you going to do? It's still really good that you can challenge the gyms in any order you want. I like that feature. Next up, is the Path of Legends. There's Naive Mint. Next up, I want to talk about the Path of Legends, which is the Titan Pokemon. At first, I really did not like this. I really did not like the Titan Pokemon. I liked the fact that you could fight the Titan Pokemon, but I did not like Arven's story at first. And I was just thinking, why do I have to go and help this extremely rude person? But then you figure out, of course, you figure out what he's done with Mabosstiff. What happened with Mabosstiff and Arven. So that actually got a lot of brownie points from me. I did not like Arven at first, but he did mellow down a lot when Mabosstiff came into the picture. And you know what? For my initial playthrough, I felt sorry that I ever thought Arven was a bad character or even hated him. I probably would say that I outright hated him in my initial playthrough, because up until the point where he was seen with Mabosstiff. Once Mabosstiff came into the picture, I was like, oh shoot. This guy's going through a lot more than just, you know, being rude to everyone. He's gone through so much. And Mabosstiff is what made Arven's character to me. And I really like Arven, and really wanted him to help Mabosstiff out as much as he could. So, my decision... Not my decision. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to go into the menu. My thoughts on Arven did a complete 180 with his character. So, the Titan story's pretty good, actually. I would dare say the Titan Pokemon story, the Path of Legends, is probably the best out of all of the all four of the stories in Scarlet and Violet's main story. I really think the Path of Legends was really good. I dare say best one, because you have a 180 with Arven's character, from him being rude to showing vulnerability. Arven is quite possibly one of the best Pokemon characters, but as I said, I didn't like him initially, but his development is probably some of the best Pokemon has ever done. Of course, you have N in Pokemon Black and White, and Black and White 2, but Arven really rivals what it means to be a good Pokemon character when story is introduced so much. And here we have Brute Bonnet that's roaming around. So I really like the Path of Legends story. Next up, Starfall Street, the Team Star story. When I saw Team Star, I was like, these are not gonna be what I think it is, or is it? What I want, is it? Because when Pokemon Scarlet and were not in beta, but when they were showing information about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I was thinking, okay, they need to go and have a really evil team. I missed that. I missed the fact that we haven't had an evil team since a real evil team since Team Plasma. Of course, you had Lysander in X and Y, but he wasn't really technically an evil character. He was just nuts. And I don't think that Team Flare is a very good evil team. I wanted one that would rival Team Plasma and Team Plasma and Team Galactic. But we didn't get that in Scarlet and Violet, and I'm more left disappointed than anything. I'm left more disappointed strictly for the fact that we've had friendly evil teams. Friendly, quote-unquote, real teams. Evil teams, I mean. For, the past 3 generations. Team Skull is just, stupid people. That I really did not like Team Skull. Because they were just oh, we're trying to be gangster, but we're a bunch of white people. Sorry if that sounded racist, but I really did not like Team Skull's portrayal. I really did not like it. And also, Team Skull... Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here, but Team Skull, I just didn't like that they were a bunch of people... They were just a bunch of misfits, for the most... And weren't really like, oh, we're going to do this just because we're evil. It was more so like, we're doing this because we want to cause trouble for people that called us weak. So, it really is not that good for Team Skull. They're not really that evil. They're just lashing out at the world. They're just lashing out because they were called weak. Which they kind of are. Even their leader, Guzma, was wanting to be a trial leader. And then the Aether Foundation came in and pretty much obliterated Team Skull. But it was still predictable on who the villain was, even with the Aether Foundation. In Pokemon Sun and Moon. The second I saw Lucamine, I was like, yep, she's the villain. The second I saw her, I knew she was the villain. And in Pokemon Sword and Shield, Team Yell was not a good evil, quote, evil team either, because they weren't really evil. All they did was cheer for Marnie. That was their entire purpose. Cheerleaders for Marnie. That was it. No evil plots, no nothing like that. Just, hey, we're gonna cheer for Marnie, and cheer for something. And cheer for something else that we don't know. Like, there was a roadblock in Sword and Shield where they were cheering for a Silicobra sleeping. That tells you everything you need to know about Team Yell at that point. It's just really stupid with Team Yell. I did not like those guys whatsoever. And then also in Sword and Shield, they had the Macrocosmos, which were not really evil. They were just like, oh, we just appeared. We appeared here, and that's it. Okay, and what with Macrocosmos? Oh, we're just gonna follow Chairman Rose as the Darkest Day plot unfolds. And as soon as I booted up Sword and Shield, I knew Chairman Rose was going to be the villain. That's how obvious it was to me. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, yeah, he's the villain. So, 2 straight generations, I was like, okay, this guy's the villain. This guy's the true villain, I mean. And they weren't evil. They weren't evil. They didn't do anything evil. Nothing like that. And even Team Skull didn't do anything evil. They were just like, oh, we took over... The worst thing they did was, oh, we took over a town and graffitied it. That's it. That's all Team Skull really did. Was evil. So, I didn't really like Team Skull. I didn't like Aether Foundation. I didn't like Macrocosmos. I didn't like Team Yell. So, what could possibly be worse than that? How could they possibly get it worse? Well, they kind of couldn't. But then again, Team Star is not that good of a villainous team. They're just a bunch of high schoolers, essentially. They're essentially just a bunch of high schoolers, or middle schoolers, or whatever, that were bullied. And they just rebelled against their bullies, who surrendered right away. And I just don't like Team Star, specifically for the fact that they're not an evil team. That's why I don't like them at all. I don't like them that much, I mean. Penny's fine as the, quote, main villain of the arc. That story. But I still don't like Team Star. I wanted a really evil villain for Scarlet and Violet because we hadn't had it for generations. But they didn't pull through on that. Apparently they were too afraid to. Or something like that. I don't know. Off my tangent of talking about the main story stuff. If you go from that, that's the third research center. If you go over there and go into this crevice here, in between these rocks to this hidden cave, you will find one of two Pokemon that only appears here. If you're playing Scarlet, you will find Roaring Moon. If you're playing Violet, you will find Iron Valiant. And they only appear in this room, in this cave. They only appear here. So if you want Roaring Moon or Iron Valiant for your team, this is the only place they show up. Alright. I talked about Starfall Street enough. So. Oh, flamethrower. That's not good. Shadow Ball, because why not? So let's talk about The Way Home, the Area Zero story. Area Zero story is pretty good too. It's pretty much a continuation of Arven's story with the Titan Pokemon, but executed way better. Not executed way better. But it's just a continuation of Arven's story from the Titan Pokemon. And you know what? The Area Zero story is actually really good too. I do enjoy the Area Zero story. As I said, Arven's story was the best out of the three main stories here. And continuing that story and finding out what happened to the professors, that was dark for a Pokemon game. And you know what? Props to them for putting something like that in a kid's game. This was The Way Home was a really good story. I actually really liked it. And I didn't see this twist that Sada and Turo were dead. But replaying it again, you can see glimmers of it. You can see hints here and there about their speech and about their and why they are not shown until this time until the ending of the game, why they were not there for Arven all those years. Why they were not with Arven erasing him for all those years. And Arven growing to hate his parents. But there's just a lot of story that you could go and see on your second playthrough, but for the most part, you won't be able... I don't think you'll be able to see on your first playthrough of this game that you'll see that Professor Sada and Turo are dead. I don't think most people saw that coming the first time they played this game. I say most people because I know my sister's really good at patterns. At looking at patterns. She figured it out before she got to the Area Zero story. I didn't. But it was still really good and interesting. Oh, Espeon. Okay. But it's still a good story for the way home. Whoa, I didn't know they could appear here. I didn't know Roaring Moon could appear there, I mean. Anywho's, back to talking about stories. Now, let's go and talk about the Aftergame. The Aftergame, let's start off with the fact that you only have one rematch against every gym leader. The rematches I showed are mandatory for the Aftergame, but they're the only ones in the game if you don't have the DLC. The DLC, as I spoiled just now, I mean, the DLC, you can rematch the gym leaders, but if you have the base game only, you cannot rematch the gym leaders. Only, other than that. The only time you get to rematch the gym leaders is the one time in the Aftergame, if you don't have the DLC. So, I don't know how to feel about that. I don't like the fact that it's only one rematch, but they are good rematches. And, the rematches are good. I just wish that in the base game that there were more to it. But that's actually not the worst part of the Aftergame. The worst part is the fact that you don't have any rematches for the Elite Four. The Elite Four, except for Hassel in the Academy Ace tournament, never get rematched. So, I don't get that. I don't like the fact that they don't have any rematches for the Elite Four. Stop it! Stop it, Screamtail! Stop it, Ductrio! Jeebers! But yeah, no Elite Four rematches unless you fight Hassel in the Academy Ace tournament. That's it. You can't fight Poppy again. You can't fight Larry as an Elite Four member again. You can't fight Rika again. You can't fight them when I think you really should be able to. You really should be able to fight them again in the Aftergame at least once. But you can't fight the Pokemon League again. You can't fight Geeta again either. That's a big thing too. You can't fight Geeta again. You can't fight her just for the fact that you can't fight the Elite Four again. It's quite terrible that they don't have Elite Four rematches. Get down, Koraidon. So, oh, we got Power Gem. Nice. Is there something back here? Yeah, there is something back here. Okay. Let's see. Another thing I want to talk about is Team Star's rematches. You can rematch the team and the leader anytime you want, once per day. I think that is really good, and that should have been what happens with the gym leaders, at least. Should have been what happened to the gym leaders, should have been with the Elite Four, that you can at least rematch them once a day. Is there something up here? Doesn't look like it, no. But rematching the Elite Four once a day would have been good. Rematching the gym leaders once a day would be a good thing, but they didn't either. They did neither one. So, I don't get why they didn't do that, but they did that with Team Star, which I don't get either. Because it's just weird. They did not allow you to fight Team... They allowed you to fight Team Star again, but they don't allow you to fight the gym leaders or the Elite Four again? That's extremely weird to me. So I don't know why they did that, but they did. Another thing, the classes of the academy, the classes in the academy. If you're a veteran, they're pretty useless. If you're new to the franchise outright, if you're outright new to the Pokemon franchise and this is your first Pokemon game, the classes are actually pretty good. And they're very informative, and you should go to the classes every single time you have one available if you are new to the series. If you're not new to the series, it's pretty boring. And there's really no point to doing them if you're a veteran of the series, unless you want the experience candies that it gives you, which is not really that much. But overall, on the classes. The Academy Ace Tournament, however, I actually really like. I really like the Academy Ace Tournament because it goes and randomizes who you fight. It randomizes who you fight. It is really cool. You can fight all the teachers, including Hassel from the Elite Four. You can fight all your rivals. You can fight the nurse. And you can fight Director Clavel. All of those people are... And they have really good Pokemon too. They're really good for grinding. What the... Roaring Moon? Oh yeah, I forgot you can be down here. Forgot you can be down here, Roaring Moon. Oh, you got a booster energy on you. Oh shoot, your attack rose. Do I have a booster energy? I don't know. Oh, it doesn't show me the entire thing. Okay. Whatever. If I... Okay, whatever. And exploring Area 0. That's the last thing I want to talk about. Exploring Area 0. I think it's really good. Well, when you don't have everyone with you. When you don't have everyone with you, exploring Area 0 is pretty fun. But while you have the people in the main story, it's... yeah. But for just exploring, this is a good place to just wander around, get some items, and just overall relax. It's really good for just a relaxing area to go to. I really like it. I really like Area 0. In my main Pokemon playthrough, I spent a lot of time in Area 0. I spent a lot of time in Area 0 just to, I spent a lot of time in Area 0, and it's overall really good to just go through. When you don't know what to do in the game, just go to Area 0, and you'll find that you'll just have a blast just wandering around trying to find some Pokemon. It's a pretty good place to do that. Night Slash, no. My Hatterene, no. Choose next Pokemon. Dark Dragon type with Zen Headbutt. Yeah. Claw Kicks, so at least Zen Headbutt does nothing. But that's all I wanted to talk about with Area 0. And all the other stories that I didn't talk about when we first finished the main story. That's what I wanted to talk about for the main story. That's what I wanted to talk about with the after story. So once we catch this freaking roaring moon, we'll go and do something else in Area 0. Well, next time. Next time we're going to do something else in Area 0 that I did not expect going into the game. Going into the game with this. Because I'm not going to spoil it. Never mind. I didn't expect something in the... This is getting scary. It's got like +4 attack and speed. Check status. +4 attack, +4 speed. I'm using a repeat ball. Should do good. Good. Nice. Critical capture. Alright. Good roaring moon. I'm just gonna revive Hatterene and give it some candy. Give it some experience candy, because it's... Actually, no, it's... Skeledirge is the one that needs the experience candy, not me. Not Hatterene. But that's something I need to do. Oh, shoot. I need to heal these guys. Alright. So, what are we doing next time here in Area 0? Well, let's go and try to find one certain area. This area. Right behind the very bottom lab. There is something here for us up this ramp. Check it out. This is what we'll be doing next time. We'll be catching Koraidon in Scarlet and Miraidon in Violet. I almost said white. Whoops. So we'll be facing Dugtrio. Get out of here. I'm trying to do an outro. Get out of here. Ah! At least you leveled up Skeledirge, therefore you served a purpose. But we'll be facing Koraidon and Miraidon next time. See you guys then.